Okay, we're recording now. Today is June 2nd. This is Skeptical Hippo podcast number 17, I think. 16? 7? I don't fucking know. I should know. I should know what number it is by now. Okay, I have a guest today. What's up, Sam? There you are. I
What's up?
gotcha. What it do? Okay, what are your goals? Boom.
Um, are we talking like 5 year goals?
Like with your biggest, most ambitious ones.
Most ambitious, not saying this is like really realistic, but ambitious is like I definitely want to go in the medical field and doing something actually with eyes actually has been like something that like I always see myself doing because just being able to relate to it. So anything like probably maybe being like an eye surgeon one day, maybe that's like a little extreme, but hopefully that's like a big goal.
Okay.
And maybe like a small term goal would probably be like eventually I want to be like a breeder, like a dog breeder.
What
Just
kind
have a
of
bunch of
dogs?
dogs. Golden doodles. Those are my favorite dogs.
Yeah.
They're great.
They're cute. My friend Jake has one. He's got a white one. He's had it
They're
for
the
a while
best.
now. Yeah. But they're,
I
they're
mean,
really funny looking when they get a haircut. They look really funny.
they are, I don't ever get him shaved though. Like I would be so mad if I can, because I specifically tell them like don't shave him. Like he's gonna look really funny. Like I don't want to see that. And
They look
then they
hilarious.
always do good. No, they don't. And then their heads all big. No, I'd be
Yeah.
so upset.
They look like a meme when they get shaved. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're still cute, but in a cute that's like you kind of feel bad for them a little bit. That's
You
like
do.
it's like when I get a really bad haircut and people are like, "No, why would you do that?"
And people secretly feel bad for you.
Yeah, that's what I think's I've shaved my head twice. I went bald, like I mean, I didn't go bald, but like I intentionally shaved my head twice,
Huh?
within the last couple of years. And then every single time I do it, I get yelled at for doing it. Everyone's like, "Why would you do that? Like, you look so much better with hair." And then so
Yeah.
now
What
I'm not
made you
gonna
want
do
to
it.
do that?
What happened? What happened was I was in a really like bad. Well, so the first time was January 2020, and I was in a really bad frame of mind, and I was like really fat. I was like 205 pounds, and
Mm-hmm.
for just like for example, I'm 170 right now, so it was like that was like 35 pounds ago, and I was
Mm-hmm.
fat, and I was like really depressed and unmotivated. So I was like, all right, well, I already feel like shit, and I look like shit. I might as well just shave my head and just go all the way, and that's what I did.
So it's like a mental break. I hear that happen. Like people shave their head after like a mental break or something.
Yeah, I Britney Spears it, is what happened.
Oh,
I think that's what she did, right? Didn't she shave her head?
yeah, she did.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did the Britney Spears shit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
At least it was a trend, you know.
Oh, it was bad. I looked like a marshmallow. It wasn't good.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I said I would grow my hair out, and then I would only allow myself to get a haircut once I got to 165. And
Mm-hmm.
then I never got to 165, but then I still gave myself a haircut. So it was just, I don't know, just a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I mean, honestly, 165 is kind of like small, like for a guy, like depending on your height, I guess. But I don't know many people in like my family, like male wise, who are like 165. Like there are like honestly pretty big dudes. Like my dad's like 6 foot something, and he's like 250. Like
Oh
so
yeah, he's a big dude.
he's
Yeah.
a big dude, man. Like huge, like scary, like almost scary looking. He's like almost 50. It's like I mean, just big
Your
people
dad
in my
sounds like a professional wrestler.
he is like the look of him is scary. Like any guy I've ever taken home to him, like they're always like, man, like why does your dad gotta be so big? Like, and he is though. But I mean, it's just most of the guys on my family though. But I guess it depends on your height too, your weight always.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm 5'7", so I'm pretty short. And then
uh-huh.
I'm pretty much 165. I was 165 a month ago, and I was pretty shredded. But even then, I
Hmm.
still I still wasn't totally shredded. Like if I wanted to get totally shredded, I'd probably have to be 155, which is
Hmm.
that's light. If you look at UFC fighters, there'd be like when UFC fighters get weighed, they have to be at a specific weight. So
Hmm.
like most of the time, if you're 5'10", you're walking to the ring at like when you're fighting at like 135, 145, like really
I
small.
know.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like my family's like huge into UFC, like especially like Conor McGregor. Like he's like 130 something. I was like, wow. And he was super shredded though.
Yeah, but really skinny. And but the thing is with him, he's only that weight when when he's about to fight. That's not what he's usually walking around at. He's usually walking around at like 175, 180.
Yeah.
And then before a fight, after they sign a contract, they have to lose a bunch of weight and get into fighting shape and shit. So, yeah.
There's so much mental that goes into that though. Like I think with like especially like they're so strict with like diets and stuff, and then they go into a lot of like I believe they go into like a lot of like saunas to like sweat that extra weight off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's such a mental place you have to be. Like I love food. Like I'm a foodie. Like I am a foodie till I die, you know? So like to be able to like to go through like fast like how they do, like I couldn't do it. I really couldn't.
Have you ever tried fasting?
Yes, I have.
How long did you do it for?
I did it for 24 hours and then I broke. I was so hungry. I couldn't even take it.
So was that the goal, or how long were you trying to go for?
24 hours.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted
So
to see if I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, oh my God. Or at least have like I'd rather do like one meal, you know what I'm saying, a day or something like intermediate fasting. I would do that and I would stick with that. But just pure fasting, no. Like I'd be in the worst mood.
Yeah.
Ever.
I fasted for 3 days one time, and that kind of sucked. Day 2 was the worst. Day 2 was worse than day 3. I don't know why.
Oh, it's because your body goes into a like I believe I'm gonna say this wrong, or like ketosis, like, and your body starts to burn off like that excess food that you have ate like prior to the last time you've eaten. So and then your body starts to get used to it. But I believe it's called ketosis. That's why it gets easier on like day 3.
The cravings go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you planning on what you were going to eat when you were finally done?
Oh man, I just kept seeing, like, I just felt like the universe was really trying to bring me down. Like anywhere I went, I would see like Wendy's like Baconator or something.
Dude, those are the shit.
Like,
those are good.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, dang it, man. And I'm like one of these people, like I'll see something like on TV or I'll hear it or when I'm out or something. And I'm like, man, did you know like Wendy's has like these new fries out? And I'm like telling everybody about this because it's like I want to try it so bad.
That's a real thing though, right? Don't they have new fries? My sister was just telling me about that. Yeah.
I know about it for some reason.
Yeah, you rang a bell in my head when you said it because my sister just got them a couple days ago, and she got back and she was like, "Oh my God, Frankie, they're so good! Like these fries are so good." I think that she said they're wedges now. And the shape is different. Yeah.
Those are the best.
I like I don't know. I like the McDonald's fries. I think those are bomb.
Those are safe bet.
Those are safe.
I like McDonald's fries.
Chick-fil-A is good too.
Oh yeah. You know, it's so bad for you though. Like I was looking, like I'm a huge like calorie person. Like I like to eat, so I watch so I'll eat, but it'll be like healthier foods. You know, like. Because I can't restrain myself. Like I would just rather eat healthier and eat more than eat less and eat like, you know what I'm saying? Eat like foods that aren't that good for you. But I was like looking on the Chick-fil-A menu, and I was like looking at their milkshakes, and it was like one of them was like 1,200 calories. I was like, oh my gosh, like wow, like how do they like compact all that into this? You know, but it's worth it. It's really good, but it's just like it's just hard to believe that it's that horrible for you.
That's why I got so fat, because I worked at Steak and Shake, and then I made a shake every day, and I just drank daily shakes and burgers, and it's terrible.
Steak and Shake. Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah,
it was probably worth it though in the moment.
In the moment it was, but the lines were always so long, so people would leave after placing an order, and then every time we saw a car go drive away, everybody celebrated, and we all called dibs. We all had to call dibs on like the customer's food. So
you're like, yes.
Yeah, even the managers called dibs. So it
Are you
was,
serious?
yes, yeah.
This dude's looking pretty pissed off behind the Jeep. Like, I can tell he's about to leave.
Yeah. The manager would be like, "Yeah, I want the number 3. Give me the number 3." So, yeah. God, I hated working there, but the food was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
free food.
Fast food's the worst. Have you ever worked fast food?
No, I have never done that.
Good for you. Good for you. That's the
It always
worst.
looks really depressing in there. Like anytime I think I refuse. After I worked in a restaurant, I was like, I refuse to work in anything that has to do with food after this. I refuse.
So what do you do? You work in a grocery store, right?
Yeah, I work in a grocery store
A
now.
cashier?
Yeah, I'm a cashier.
Okay. Okay.
I like that though, because you don't talk to people long. Like if you get rude people, it's like, have a great day. Like that's it. That's like the end of our interaction. But if like something's wrong with their food, like you got to deal with them for a minute.
Have you ever had somebody who's really rude and then you talk to them kindly and you're calm and then they see that they're actually in the wrong and then they apologize to you because they were rude?
No,
I've
no.
had that happen a few times at Publix.
Uh-huh.
It's always kind of weird because like if I've got my head on straight, then it seems like it influences the people around me to have their head on straight too. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, I was just walking in one day and I was like vibing, I was chilling. And then I had a customer come up to me and she was all angry and I was all chill and I was like, "Sorry that you're like that. I'll help you like with whatever you need." And then I was just
Mm-hmm.
totally cool about it. And then she kind of saw that she was exaggerating and then like right away she profusely apologized so many times that
Oh,
she was being bitchy and I was like, it's all good. And that's happened a few times, like not even just
that's a
once.
great feeling. Just
Yeah,
because how you were acting, you got that response. That's a great feeling.
I know. Yeah, yeah, it stuck with me for the next few hours. It was like totally a vibe for sure.
Like your attitude can like influence someone, like so deeply sometimes.
Dude, I'll walk into Publix and like everyone would come up to me and be like, "Yeah, Frankie's here. He showed up."
Oh.
And then I don't know, it's like I've never had that, but like it used to just be like for my whole life I would walk into places and then nobody would really give a shit. And then
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like the more like I was talking about this the other day, but like the more you learn how to interact with people and be personable, just the further along you're going to get in like terms of anything. It's so important.
Oh yeah, totally. I honestly, me and my sister talk about this a lot because she's getting her doctorate's degree right now, and she was like, no matter like how far you get, like in your like, let's just say you're going to like the academic route and you're trying to plan to get a college degree. She's like, that really doesn't matter. She's like, you go in an interview and you flunk it just because you don't know how to socialize. Like your degree at that point is worthless because you can't be personable. It's a skill that it kind of is like it's not learned. Like you can't read it in a book. It's like you just have it like in you to be personable.
Yeah. And there are tips that you could read in books, but it's
Mhm.
still it takes practice is all. You
Yeah,
have to intentionally be mindful about it and be like, okay, I'm gonna try to be better at this.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. I know a couple. Yeah, I know some people who are really bad at it, and it's tough. It's tough for them, but they're also aware that they're bad at it. So I think that's the first step is knowing that you have to get better at it, and then you can actually start to find ways to improve on it. But yeah,
I think most people know that they're like if they're like they know they're not good with people. It's kind of because it's like how do you not know that? It's like because you're in the situation, so it's like you can kind of see what you're saying and how's it going, like what's going on in the conversation. So you kind of like realize like like maybe this is a skill that I need to work on.
I guess yeah, fair point. Unless you're just really not mindful and you just don't know
Oh
what's
yeah,
going on, you're just oblivious. I guess if you're oblivious, then there's no point for you to even try because what's that even gonna do? You're not even gonna notice it. So
that's true. Just not paying attention at all.
yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. What random question? But you work in a grocery store, and I work in a
Yes.
grocery store,
Hmm.
and I want ice cream. So, like, what's the go-to?
Oh, what kind of ice cream
Yeah.
to get? Bluebell.
Bluebell. Really? Which
Yes.
one?
Um, depends what mood. I'd say probably cookie dough though. That's like my favorite.
It's bland. You're bland.
You think so?
Yeah. At least you didn't
Ooh.
say Breyers, because Breyers I think is the worst. It's like not even ice cream. It shouldn't be legal. You ever had it?
No, I don't think I've had it. What is that really good ice cream though? I see a bunch of people getting it. It has like little clouds on it,
Ben and
and it's like
Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's. Everyone
Yes.
goes crazy for Ben and Jerry's.
That was the correct answer when I asked you what's the go-to for ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, you got it
dang.
wrong. Yeah, Ben and Jerry's is the correct answer. You
It's
gotta
like
try
too
that.
much sugar. You know, it's like too much. It's like too much of a good thing.
I don't know. Like it is 1,400 calories for most of them. For like that one pint is 1,400
Oh.
calories. I'll consume that shit in 10 minutes though, like really easy. So
It's like, was it really 1,400 calories if I ate it that quick? Like,
I
that
know,
doesn't even
right?
count.
Yeah. If okay, this is gonna be tough to explain, but I saw this study, and it kind of really went into detail on how much your mindset comes into play, how your mindset can manifest your reality. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain this. This is gonna be tough though, because it's been a
Okay.
few months since I read this. But they did a study with one group of people, and they had these people come in twice, once one week and then once the next week, and each week they gave this group milkshakes. And the first time they gave this group a milkshake, they said, "This is a really unhealthy milkshake. This is a 1,500 calorie milkshake. It's got like 150 grams of carbs, a shitload of sugar, all that stuff." And then the next week, they gave this group a milkshake, and then they said, "This is a healthy milkshake. It's like 350 calories. It has some protein in it. It's low in carbs." And they tested these people's, I don't think it was their metabolism, but there's something that it might have been their metabolism. They anyway, it was the same milkshake both times. The milkshake was completely the same, but the people physically reacted better to the milkshake that the people said was a healthier milkshake.
Hmm.
And it wasn't even a mental thing. Like physically, their body physically reacted in a better way to the quote unquote healthier milkshake, even though it's the same milkshake both times. Explain
Hmm.
that shit. Like it doesn't seem like it makes any sense, but it's really cool how I guess that's just a correlation between like manifestation and science somehow.
It's like you're getting rewarded both ways. You're getting rewarded in a way of like, you're thinking, like, oh, this is good for me. And I'm also getting rewarded by, man, this is good. Like, it's a win win.
Yeah. Yeah. And so imagine the way that your mindset comes into play with a milkshake like that, and like what other ways is your mindset important? Like what other aspects of your life? I think if that experiment shows anything, it's how important your frame of mind is for all aspects of life. So,
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Going into anything, like, that's why I think it's so important, like, always telling yourself, you're like, even if you're not feeling today, it's always be like, I'm gonna have a great day today. Like, I don't care what happens during my day, like, I'm gonna have a great day. And I think that always helps going into the day like that, because if you're claiming already negative, you are going to have a horrible day. You
Yeah.
already let those thoughts come in that today's going to be horrible. But if you go in it like with a really good attitude, and you're like, all right, today's going to be great, I'm going to like be productive today, like I'm going to try to make people happy, like I feel like your whole day changes by like what you tell yourself
Yeah. Yeah,
in
and
the
then
beginning.
even to what we said earlier, it's like you're a better person, and then it makes the people around you want to be a better person, and it's just a win-win.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you got an aura or something. I don't know what the fucking word is, but people feel your vibes.
How are you into Buddhism and then not know what aura is?
I don't
That's like a number
explain it.
one of the number one things.
No, it's not.
It's one because it's your energy, and it's like the vibe you're putting off. That's like your aura. Like auras are actually like, anyone who's done like, some people see it. It depends on your trips though, I think. But at least on my trip, I did. That was one of the first things I noticed was like coloring in like people's auras. Like it wasn't like super significant, but I did notice like if I moved too fast in the mirror, Like, I don't know if I was just tripping, but it was a constant, like, yellow outlining of my fingers and, like, my arms. And I always saw it, like, as soon as, like, I moved my hand really fast, I'd, like, see, like, a yellow and this, like, outline to it. And then some people would have, like, different, almost colors to them, like, their outlining of their body. It was
It's so
crazy,
cool.
but it was cool. Like, and a lot of people, I've heard some people say that they see that, but I was looking so closely because I've heard about it, and I was like, man, I want to know people's aura colors. I want to know my aura color, you know? Um,
So you're
before I
yellow.
met. Yes.
Do you think that that is? Do you think that kind of like the certain vibrations that you're giving off in that moment is relevant to the color that you're giving, or do you do you think that the color is always the same, or do you think that it changes?
Changes for sure.
Okay.
Depending on, I think, the point in your life. Like, if you're like in a negative, like, really state, like, I feel like you're gonna have like more of like a negative, like, aura color, you know, like, if, and I was in a really good mood that day. Because before you go on a trip, like, there's a reason why people say good vibes only, and that is the reason, because everybody who says that was tripping, and they're like, hey, everyone, get the negativity out of the room. Like, this is good vibes in this room. And,
Oh my
like, because
god,
that's how
yeah.
you have to go about it, you know, like, any negative will, like, throw your whole trip off. And I was just listening to Sublime, like, I was so happy that day, and I was just like, it was like this bright yellow. I was like, I know I'm feeling good by that.
Yellow sounds like it would be a good color.
Oh yeah, it's I read a little bit on it, and it was like one of the main things was like uplifted and energetic, and I believe that because that's literally how I felt the whole time.
Damn. I wonder what color I would be. I,
Not everyone sees it though.
I don't see it. I've never seen it before. And I've tripped a bunch.
Yeah.
I've seen colors, but I've never seen like certain people giving off certain colors. You know.
It was I think it was very different. Like, the person who I was tripping with, it was like my best friend through high school, and he always tripped, like, consistently, and it was like my first time tripping ever. And we started off, he was just like, you just need to get in a good spot. If you're not in a good spot, we're not going to do it. He's like, do you feel good, like, mentally right now? I was like, yeah, no, I feel good, you know. And it started when we were like outside. So I started to feel it kick in when we were like outside on the porch, and I felt like a little kid, like, at the time. Like, I just felt like a little kid, you know, like, I had my sunglasses on, and everything just felt like so, like, nostalgic. Like, you're a little kid in that moment, like, almost like your brain is right there. And I remember the first thing I started to notice was just colors, like the weirdness of colors. And I was just like looking at my arms, and my arms kind of looked like shadowy almost. And I was like, man, is there supposed to be like colors? Like, I was like, you kind of look like you're your own color right now. And he was like, no, I see it sometimes too. And he even said my color was yellow too.
Oh,
I
that's
was like, so
cool.
that's how I know.
That's
I know
cool.
this is legit. I wasn't.
That's one of the cool things about psychedelics is you'll hear people have similar experiences where when they're tripping they'll see the same thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
explain that like to the people who are naysayers or the people who say that your brain's producing something. Like how can you explain that like if you and me are tripping we're both seeing the same shit, but if there's somebody sober they're not seeing it.
Oh, I believe totally that we're almost like breaking through the third dimension almost. Like, this, in that same trip, this is how I knew like we weren't on like separate trips, is because when it was really, you know, when you hit your peak and it's like you almost feel like you're going in and out of reality. At least that's how I was feeling. Like, I feel like I was at my peak of my trip, and we were all like, just me and him were just sitting on the couch, and we were like looking straight at the wall, and I saw this lady come out of the walls. She was like red and blue. And she like reached out, and at first she looked so angry, like she looked so mad. So it's like I'm just like staring at her, and then she like sucks back into the walls, and then she comes back out, and then she smiles, and then she goes back in. And later that after the trip, like we were starting to not like feel it as much. I was like, yo, did you see the lady in the walls? And he was like, he looked at me with like huge eyes, and he was like, was she red and blue? I was like,
Yo.
yeah. That's how I knew we were on the same trip.
Yo. That's
Isn't
sick.
that crazy?
I've never experienced that before. 'Cause
It
I don't
that
trip
was
with people,
wild.
honestly. I trip on myself. I'm scared to trip with other people. So that's probably why I haven't
Yeah,
experienced that.
I feel like it'd be scary to trip by yourself. Like I feel like that would scare me.
I don't know, because I'm kind of used to going deep into my own mind and like exploring in there and seeing what's going on. So I'm used to it. I'm very like an internal person when I'm tripping. And I
Hmm.
think like the reason that I don't trip with other people is because I'm prone to getting anxious. So I'm
Hmm.
scared that I would have a like a panic attack in front of other people, and then I wouldn't be able to communicate to them, and then I would just be silent the whole time and then concern whoever I'm with. So that's why I do
Hmm.
it by myself. So
Okay. That's valid. And at least it's only one person panicking, not someone else making you more panic because they're panicking because you're panicking.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I have trip sat people who have gone through some serious shit, and I've had to like
Hmm.
take them out of it. Like they thought they were dying.
Yep.
It's have you ever experienced that?
I've experienced it when I've like I remember taking a while where I would take like a tolerance break. Like when I used to smoke all the time in high school, and I would take a tolerance break, and then I would just go extremely just like go for it. And then I'm talking like it would be like I take a tolerance break, and then I would get maybe like a quarter, and I would just smoke all the quarter that I had, and then I would go. Sometimes it would go bad because of the tolerance break, and I don't think my brain was used to it, and it would I would go into like a panic attack from it. Like it was like too much. I was like not like you would think basic high thoughts. You're like, man, did I forget to breathe? Like, am I breathing right now?
Yeah.
I haven't breathed in a minute. You think like stupid things like that, but I never, I never really got like panicky during like a trip before. I haven't.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for
that
you.
sounds really scary.
Have you taken acid or just mushrooms?
Acid. That's what I took tabs. That's what I was like the first experience I told you about.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Have you taken mushrooms too?
I've taken mushrooms at the beach one time.
How was that?
Tasted awful,
Oh my god.
horrible. It
Yeah,
was
so bad.
awful. Oh my gosh. And I had like we had like the great idea. I took like one little slice. I was like, that was so horrible. So we had like leftover pizza, and I was like, how about we just put it on the pizza? It's mushrooms. Like this can work. And that helped a little bit, but it was more like I had a really good experience because I was at the beach and I was just saw the waves coming like back and forth. I just know we looked like we were like tripping because we all had like hippie glasses on, like sitting on like on like a beach towel, just like almost like dazed and at the ocean.
That's
But
a
it
good
was
place to
really
do it though. The
it
beach.
is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That sounds cool actually. I got to do that one day.
It's I highly recommend it. And everyone's happy and you see little kids like laughing and playing. So it's like automatically like a really good environment, I think.
Yeah, I think the beach is generally good vibes, so that would help a lot in terms of picking your environment and picking a good vibe for you to trip in.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Sure.
have you like what's the biggest difference that you found between mushrooms and acid?
Um, I would say both of them were visual. Like I definitely got like a lot of visual from both. I would say more so with taking tabs. I felt it more in my body. Like it was more like I felt it like the senses of touch was very different. Oh,
Yeah.
that was the huge difference for me. I think was just like even like my skin. I was like, oh my gosh, my skin feels like silk right now. Like I didn't know my skin felt this good. Like mushrooms, I didn't really get that experience as much. I don't think.
Oh man, if you think acid feel, which by the way, acid does feel good, especially the come up. The come up feels really good. For some
Mm-hmm.
reason, I when I think of feeling good on acid, I think of the come up, just because usually when you're like in the middle of an acid trip, you have so many other things going on that you're not really so concerned about how things feel.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that feels really good is MDMA or ecstasy. Like holy shit,
Oh, I've never done that before
holy
ever.
shit, so good. There's a video in Family Guy when Peter takes it. And then he like takes all of his clothes off and he's rubbing up against the couch, and then he goes onto the carpet and starts doing like just rolls all over into the carpet. And that's
Oh
exactly what
my
it feels
god.
like. It's a 100% accurate depiction of how it feels.
That's hilarious. Like I wouldn't do that in front of people then, like unless guess like people who I was close with because
Oh, it
you
has
want
to.
they think
Yeah.
it weird.
Oh, I think that's one of those drugs that you have to do with people. I think almost any drug you should only be doing it with people that you're close with.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Definitely MDMA. Like do it with people that you're really close to, cuz
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck. That's a good drug. But honestly, I have such a on and off, like very mixed feelings about drugs, because
Mhm.
it seems to me that the first time that I take any substance, it feels really good and I have a really enjoyable experience, and then the
Huh.
second time I take it, it's not enjoyable, and then I end up having a bad trip, and then I get sent into a manic state of anxiety, and then it's just not fun at all. So I'm
Yeah.
very on and off with it, which I think is a good thing, because I think if it was only good with drugs, then I would probably like them too much, and then I would probably be taking them a lot. So I think it's a
Hmm.
good thing that I also don't like them so
Yeah.
much.
You
Yeah.
have like that respect almost for it. It's not like you go to another level with it all the time.
Yeah. Well, they're humbling. Like they're
Yeah.
very humbling, and especially like when you're not in control anymore, it's very humbling. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you take a psychedelic, it's like you're giving the keys to the drug, and you're just saying, okay, take over. Like you do your thing, and then if you
That's Ash.
that's what it's like. And then if you try to take over, if you try to get the keys back, that's when the bad trip starts happening. Like if you don't
Yeah.
fully give yourself up, that that's when shit starts to hit the fan, in my experience.
No,
So
yeah, no. I would definitely agree with that. I feel like it's important though to not take things so seriously when you're tripping because you're in the trip if you like it or not. Like there's no getting out of it. So you might as well just like buckle in for the ride. You know what I'm saying? And just enjoy it while you can. Like that's like the favorite part with tripping with me is probably with my friends and we like visit these times where we refer to it as a journey. We're like, remember when we went on that journey when we were tripping? And
the
this is a
journey to the
really
gas station. That's what it feels like.
it is. It's like its own little journey, and it was like the backyard was just so like where we stayed most of the time. You're like, remember we took that journey out to the backyard, and there was this huge bug that jumped on my friend's hand. It was like this big,
All right, you're about to
and
get
we
kicked
like
out. I'm gonna send you a link,
okay,
and then we'll start it when
okay,